All right, we'll call the September 28, 2020 council briefing session to order. Ms. Pfister, could you please call the roll? Present.
Councilmember Burke.
Here.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Present.
Councilmember Kinnear.
Present.
Councilmember Mumm.
Here.
Councilmember Stratton. Councilmember Wilkerson. I understand Councilmember Stratton is having technical difficulties.
Yes.
Okay. Councilmember Wilkerson.
You're on mute, Councilmember Wilkerson, if you want to say hello. Oh. All right.
It'll just be a second. Councilmember Wilkerson, can you hear me now?
No.
I can
You're on
see
mute.
her speaking, but I can't hear her.
Councilmember Stratton's here now.
Yeah.
Oh, Councilmember Stratton, roll call. I see you. Can you hear us?
Here.
Here, okay.
Here. Yep.
Thank you. And we're just waiting for Councilmember Wilkerson to be able to hear us.
Here, I can hardly hear you though.
Oh, thank you. Councilmember Wilkerson is present. Let the record reflect that all council members are present.
All right. We have City Attorney Michael Ormsby, who's taken over the briefing for the administration for the advanced agenda. Welcome back, Mr. Ormsby.
Thank you, Council President and members of the council. Chris Averitt has the first 5 items on the agenda, so why don't I introduce Chris and he can go through his items as they relate to the waste energy plan.
Thank you and good afternoon. The first item today is a value blanket renewal with Atlas Copco for as-needed air compressor rentals during outages at the waste energy facility. This is a 1-year renewal not to exceed $135,000. The next 2 items are related to the construction of a conveyor system to allow us to load out ash and remain operational while repairs are made to our existing ash processing equipment. The first is a contract with Evergreen Tractor for feed belt, pulleys, and rollers. This contract is not to exceed $110,000. The second contract is with Shamrock Paving to construct a road that will access this bypass conveyor. This contract is for $106,066 and will include a 10% administrative reserve of $10,606.60. Item number 4 is a contract extension with Hydrotech Generator Repair Plus for rebuilding of hydraulic and pneumatic cylinders. This is a 1-year extension not to exceed $100,000. The next item is a 1-year contract renewal with Big Sky Industrial for vacuuming services at the waste energy facility. The value of this extension is not to exceed $110,000. And finally, it's a 1-year contract renewal with Bay Valve for valve repair services. This renewal is not to exceed $300,000. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next, we have the recommended acceptance of a fiscal award relating to the COC grant award, and Tim Ziegler from CHHS is here to present this item. Tim? I see he's on the call.
You're on mute, Tim, if you're trying. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for whoever unmuted me. It's not clicking off for whatever reason. Yeah, so this is our annual continuum of care competition that we go through, and we were awarded, as usual, the full amount requested, which is a little over $4 million. So our request would just be to accept these funds so that we can put them out towards our 19 projects that have been selected through the 5-year funding process.
Any questions for Tim? Thank you, Tim. Next, we have a recommended grant acceptance award from the Washington Traffic Safety Commission for the DUI enforcement program, and Major Olson from the Police Department is here to present this item.
Good afternoon, Council President, Council members. We're looking to renew our grant for one of our traffic safety officers. He's actually dedicated to DUI. It'll supply enough funding to pay his wages and benefits, plus some overtime. And we match with one of our own. So we have a 50% match with another full-time DUI officer as well. So we're just looking for approval of that grant. Washington State Traffic Safety Committee. That's it.
Okay. Any questions for Major Olson?
Mr. Olson, there's no dollar amount attached to this grant.
If you look, it's actually not on the briefing paper, but it is in the contract itself, which should have also been attached. It's a roughly $140,000. That was the employee salaries and benefits. There's contract services, which is the percentages added on. The total is actually $155,024, if I said it correctly. So that's on page 5 of the contract.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we move to contract renewals for chemical analysis that benefits both solid waste and the water departments. And Doug Greenland is here to present these two recommendations.
Good afternoon, council members. This is an optional use contract with Anitech Labs in Spokane and Edge in Western Washington to fulfill requirements that the water department and solid waste has for analyzing water. This is the second and final contract extension, and the total is $58,575 total between the two. So you can choose either lab, but that's the total dollar amount. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have contract renewals for specialized testing for water and wastewater in conjunction with the DOE issued discharge permits, and Mike Cannon is here to present this item.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is a contract renewal for ALS labs in Canada, and this is the first renewal of 2 for specialized testing for things like the PCBs and whatnot. The cost of this one is $55,930, not including tax. Any questions on that?
Thanks, Mike. Next, we have a contract for condition assessment of the city's arterial street system, and Clint Harris from Streets is here to present this item.
Good afternoon, Council President and Council. This is the same item that was briefed earlier in the PIES meeting. So Street Department is seeking approval for a contract with Transmap Corporation for assessing the pavement, and the contract is not to exceed $65,000, including tax. Questions?
And just to be clear, that was...
question here. Maybe I missed it if we talked about it in committee, but is this going to be to look at arterials citywide, or is this for specific projects like on our 6-year arterial plan?
That's a good question. It's for the entire arterial street structure in the city.
Okay, the next item is a recommendation for a 3-year contract with Lexipol for the law enforcement policy manual upgrade and subscription, and I think Major Olson is also briefing this item.
Yep, I got that one as well. So I'm back, council members, council president. This is to extend our contract with Lexipol for 3 years. The rates actually go up. I can't remember if it was 5% a year. Starts at $44,832, ends at $47,562 in 2022, and it's for their services as they provide continuous updated policies for us to consider, as well as online training and electronic policy management. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Major Olson. Then finally, we go to the placeholders. The first is the report of the mayor for pending claims and obligations, both with and without warrants for parks and libraries, and then also payroll claims, and those blanks will be filled in prior to the meeting next week. And finally, there is a placeholder for approval of city council meeting minutes, which will be completed prior to the meeting next week. Next, we go to the legislative agenda and go to, there's just one item here next week, and it's the special budget ordinance. And Paul and Josie from Finance is here to present and discuss this item.
Good afternoon, Council. The SBO before you next Monday is the balance of the original $6.6 million awarded from State Department of Commerce reimburse city departments for expenditures and for equipment, materials, and salary related to COVID. It's about $2.6 million of the CARES dollars and $600,000 for FEMA reimbursements. Happy to take any questions.
Council President and members of the council, that would conclude the presentation of the advanced agenda for next week's meeting.
Council President?
Yes.
I would like to, this is Councilor Mum, I'd like to make a suggestion, and it needs to be in the form of a motion, fine, that we move that one item, ordinance C35949, to our 3:30 on Monday. It's a singular item. It's to pay for things that have already happened within the city. And I just think it might just make it something to have an entire meeting just for this one item.
I will accept that as a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just had a comment. Were we going to allow public comment
We can.
again? Okay, because I had read that I think we were supposed to maybe look into it for the meeting on the 5th. But maybe I'm wrong.
Oh. So, Council Member Burke is bringing up a good point, is that the governor's current order on open public meetings expires on October 1st, and we don't know what extension, if any, there might be. So, yeah, but
Council President?
Yes, go ahead.
Regardless of whether or not he extends that, wouldn't that simply change whether we meet in person at 3:30 versus 6?
Yes, but it might impact how someone feels about moving it just because it's during the afternoon. But yeah.
Oh.
Any other discussions on the motion before us to move this particular item to 3:30? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, nay? All right, any abstentions? All right, that matter is moved to 3:30.
Thank you.
With that, is there a motion to approve the advanced agenda for October 5th as amended?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Okay. The advanced agenda is approved as amended. And that gets us to today's agenda, which is also pretty light, but there is a vacation hearing, so I think we probably need to do that at the regular time. But there are two requests to add something to the consent agenda, an item number 5, and also to add to the agenda an ordinance we passed previously about a vacation on Cleveland and Nevada. They found a change that needed to be made in the legal description. But to do either of those things, we would need a motion to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to do that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules. Any discussion? All those in favor of suspending the rules indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay?
Aye.
Any abstentions? All right. The rules are suspended. And first, I will see if there is a motion to add ordinance C35926, vacating portions of Cleveland Avenue and Nevada Street in the city of Spokane. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Again, it's just changing the legal description from the last time we passed it. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of adding C35926 to tonight's legislative agenda indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Abstentions? All right, that is added. And then is there a motion to add contract 0732, contract with Intera Incorporated for COVID software and implementation?
So moved.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion?
I have a question. Have we been briefed on this?
No. So we can take a briefing on that. Is there a staff member that can talk to us about that?
Hi, Council. This is Brian Schaefer. This is an extremely timely piece of software that integrates with our computer-aided dispatch that allows us to track clusters of COVID and other emergencies, but right now primarily COVID, and put that in the hands of our responders up in front of their computers and their apparatus. We've had a number of opportunities. We've had a number of cases where our folks are responding to known COVID, what we call clusters, accessible. The information accessible to our responders from the health department or from previous experiences with the EMS system. So this program runs and integrates all of our information from our patient care records, from the hospitals, and from our computer-aided dispatch, and puts it right in their hands before they get to the residents or before they get to these places. Plus, it allows us to watch during the second wave and make some deployment changes if we need to respond more effectively and protect our people. So in lieu of waiting, the majority of this is being paid for by CARES funds, and in light of what we're starting already to see with our increases both inside our department and in the community, we wanted to get ahead of it. That was the purpose for the urgency with this matter.
Do you have an amount of money for the contract?
Should be about $78,000. And I'd probably look to Mike to confirm, but I believe that's what was on the blue sheet.
Yes, that's correct. That's the number.
Could you say the number one more time, Mike, just so that...
It was approximately $78,400, I believe.
Okay.
$71,455, and that covers 2020 and 2021.
All right. I don't know if you heard Terry Pfister, but that would cover 2020 and 2021. So, all right. Any other questions or discussion? All right. So again, the motion is to add it to the agenda at this point. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, nay?
Aye.
Any abstentions? All right, that's added to the agenda, and I'll ask Terry Pfister to go ahead and read the consent agenda.
Reports, reports, contracts, and claims. Number 1, contract amendment with Special Counsel Brian T. Grogan and Moss & Barnett, PA, Minneapolis, Minnesota, for legal services and advice in regards to the Comcast franchise renewal. $20,000. Total contract amount, $247,500. Number 2, permit agreement allowing a grant recipient neighborhood council to demonstrate site control for purposes of a State Department of Commerce grant for public art in a roundabout. Number 3, report of the mayor of pending any claims and payments of previously approved obligations, including those of Parks and Library through September 18, 2020. Total $6,891,207.68 with Parks and Library claims approved by their respective boards. Warrants excluding Parks and Library total $4,249,400.27. B, payroll claims of previously approved obligations through September 19, 2020, $7,630,198.14. Item number 4, City Council meeting minutes for September 10, September 14, and September 17, 2020. Item number 5, contract with Ontario Incorporated, Castle Rock, Colorado for COVID software and implementation for COVID pre-planning data in the field for planning for COVID response and provider awareness of recent COVID positive cases at facilities they may visit, reducing potential line exposure and overtime, $71,455 for 2020 and 2021.
All those in favor of approving tonight's consent agenda as read by the clerk, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? All right. The consent agenda is approved as read. And that is all the business. It looks like we'll have a short meeting this evening, but we'll see you all back at 6 p.m. We're adjourned.